The great Indus River flows through Pakistan. In the 25th century BC, at the same time the pharaohs were raising pyramids along the Nile, another agriculture-based civilization was beginning to take shape in the Indus River Valley in Asia. The Indus civilization. Mohenjo-daro is the largest and oldest of all the archaeological sites of the Indus civilization. It is situated about 100 kilometers or 62 miles to the southwest of Sukur, an Indus River Valley town in the province of Sindh in Pakistan. There is no escaping the busyness and bustling of this town. But if you take one step outside of the town, the expansive landscape reveals itself. What appears to be a low hill, rising above the wasteland far across the other side of this landscape, is Mohenjo-daro. The name Mohenjo-daro means Mound of the Dead. A desolate archaeological site sprawls out before us. What is unique about Mohenjo-daro is the absence of any large-scale monuments. There is nothing to display the power of the gods or the authority of the king in the manner of the pyramids of the Nile. At first glance, the ruins seem hard to detect. There appears to be nothing more than a pile of baked bricks heaped on top of one another. But upon stepping further into the interior, it becomes evident that the site is the product of a highly advanced civilization, far removed from the image conveyed by the name Mound of the Dead. Mohenjo-daro was designated a World Heritage Site in 1980. It was discovered in 1922 by the Indian archaeologist Banerjee, who accidentally unearthed Mohenjo-daro beneath the Buddhist archaeological site he was excavating. The Buddhist site itself was from the 3rd or 4th century BC, but the city ruins lying beneath it are far older. They are estimated to have been built between 2500 and 1800 BC. Moreover, these ruins are not remnants of some mere ancient dwellings. Among the orderly rows of buildings, there are public facilities, such as an enormous granary, an assembly hall, as well as a great bath, all of which indicate a high level of social organization and urban design. The bathtub is 12 meters 39 feet long and 9 meters 29 feet wide. It is 2.4 meters or 8 feet deep. The custom of purificatory bathing is still practiced among the Hindus of India. The articles excavated from Mohenjo-daro: a lively bronze statue of a dancer, an Earth Mother image made in the hope that it would bring plentiful harvests, dice and toys have been discovered at the site, indicating that entertainment and leisure activities played an important part in the lives of the city's residents. These excavated articles are gradually shedding light on the lifestyles of the people of Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro is constructed from a massive amount of baked bricks. Even now, in the area surrounding Mohenjo-daro, smoke from the baking of bricks rises everywhere, the same as it did 4,000 years earlier. The bricks are first left out in the sun to dry. The dried bricks themselves are then piled up to form a kiln around a heap of grain chaff, which is then lit, and the bricks are baked in this way for a period of 3 months. An ox cart, like those often seen in local farming villages. This too is actually a scene unchanged from the time of Mohenjo-daro. The prosperity of the Indus civilization derived from the land. However, the farming practices utilized at the time are substantially different from modern-day techniques. For example, it is thought irrigation was unknown and not employed in the agriculture of the period. Instead, the farmers relied on river flooding to inundate their fields with water. It was possible to grow sufficient crops simply by planting them in the floodplains of the Indus. The river also enabled prosperity through trade. It is known that the Indus people traveled as far as Mesopotamia. That's some 3,000 kilometers or 1,864 miles away. This statue of a priest king, with clothing patterned on the sacred Mesopotamian three-leaved insignia, was also found at Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro was a well-designed city. It had a planned layout that separated public facilities from the urban lower city area. This is an imaginary reconstruction of the lower city, which had a population of 30,000 people. There are high walls and wide streets, a dense metropolis with houses packed tightly together. And here are the present-day ruins of the lower city. Houses spacious enough for large families to occupy stand side by side. Let's go out onto the road from the entrance to this house. There's the impression that the city's population had a healthy sense of privacy. It is thought that the residents chose not to make windows in order to prevent the hot winds from blowing inside their homes. This opening is not a window. It is a hole for a chute used for throwing away trash. Drainage systems were installed so residents could dwell in sanitary conditions. The drainage conduits were laid alongside the alleyways and major thoroughfares. Over 700 wells have been found, and they can be seen throughout the city. This particular well, dug when Mohenjo-daro was still inhabited, was used long after the city had ceased to exist. Over many years, as the surrounding sand and dirt accumulated, the wall of the well was extended to keep up with the increasing ground level. The main thoroughfare, running north to south, was the city's backbone, where wealth and people converged. It is possible to imagine the vitality of the inhabitants, going about their daily lives like the vibrancy one sees in the towns of modern-day Pakistan. But after thriving for approximately 1,000 years, this prosperity suddenly ended. The tragic appearance of skeletons that have been excavated at the site hint at the final days of this civilization. Repeated flooding eventually changed the course of the river. This caused trade and the distribution of goods to become difficult. It is also likely that nearby enemies may have then invaded and destroyed the city. The archaeological excavation and analysis of this unique site have only just begun.